to show you how to protect your curls in the summer so that you can rock your curls happily and still spend time in the sun and swimming. I'm Delilah, and I help people with curly hair like you get better at caring for and styling their hair. These 5 tips will help you care for your curls in the summer so that they can still be hydrated, moisturized, healthy, defined, and easy to manage. And if you watch till the end, I'll share with you how you can have better and longer lasting definition even in high humidity. Have you ever spent the day swimming, whether in a pool or at the beach, and noticed after that your hair kind of had that straw-like rough feeling? Or maybe you just spend a couple of days in the sun and your hair is being a little different, it's a little drier, a little rougher. Or maybe you just struggle with the humidity. You style your hair, you go outside to only within hours have it all completely ruined. Your definition is lost, it's fallen flat. These are all really common things that happen in the summer, and that's because the sun and the water can damage our hair. This means that you might be wasting your time styling your hair if you don't take these 5 tips into consideration. If you hear that rumbling in the background, it's just thunder. There's a thunderstorm rolling through, as is typical on any summer day in Florida. The first tip is to protect your hair from the sun. We all know that the sun has damaging rays. We typically will layer a bunch of SPF cream on our skin, on our face, make sure that we don't get sunburn or skin cancer, but this can also damage our hair. So there's a couple of things that you can use to protect your hair from the sun. An obvious and free solution is to cover your hair with something like a hat, a scarf, a blanket, whatever, anything that you have on hand that you can cover it from the sun. That's going to be a really easy solution to protecting it against the sun. There are also SPF sprays, and I think there's some powders, but I recommend the sprays that you can apply to your hair. So these are specific ingredients that work to protect your hair from UVA and UVB rays, different from the type of protection that you would put on your skin. So it's not the same kind of SPF, but it is an SPF. If you need a product like this, all of the Evolve styling products have sun protection in them, but the best one is going to be Wonder Balm because it's got a silicone alternative, and silicones are one of the best ingredients to protect your hair against sun damage. There's lots of others on the market. Sunbum has a product, Kula Organic has a product, Avita, and I will link to some in the description below. The second thing you can do is protect your hair from the water if you're going to be swimming in the ocean or in the pool. The pool tends to be worse because of the chlorine, but ocean water can be a little damaging for certain hair types. Now, different ways to protect your hair from the water is, the first thing that I would always suggest is just to saturate your water with regular like tap water, whatever. You know how sometimes beaches and pools will have showers that they want you to go in before you, or they want you to go under before you go into the water. So that's a good way to do it. Just wet your hair, and then I would apply some sort of leave-in product like a cream, a leave-in conditioner. Not a lot, especially if you're going in a pool, because some of these can be damaging to the pool like water filtration system. So do think about that. You don't have to use a leave-in or a curl cream, but it's an extra protection. But definitely wet your hair. And then you can put it in like a bun or a braid if you have long curls that tend to tangle. I usually do this with my daughter's hair. I'll wet it and then put some leave-in conditioner and then braid it up. That way it doesn't get all tangled, because if not, by the time she gets out of the pool, it's just a big matted mess. There are also swim caps. I know people with curly hair don't like to use them. They don't really make them curly hair friendly. I think there's one brand out there I had heard about, but I didn't see it when I did some research. I couldn't find it, so I'm not sure what that brand is, but a swim cap would be helpful. There are also products you can use after you go swimming that would remove some of the buildup, like the chlorine that is in your hair. Malibu Sea makes a really good swimmer's shampoo, and like a little packet that's like some crystals that you just basically pour it in your hand, mix it with water in your palm, and it dissolves and forms like a shampoo-ish type of consistency, and you would clean your hair with that. Those work really well. I've gotten those because my daughter's hair tends to get really rough and dry after swimming in a pool, and that works really well for her. And that leads me to an extra point that I want to make, which is to continue to clarify and deep condition. Clarifying is especially important if you're going to be swimming because of the buildup that you can get from the minerals in the water and the chlorine in the pools. So use a good clarifying shampoo that's made for your situation. I mentioned that swimmer's shampoo if you're swimming in the pool a lot. You can use a chelating shampoo if you've got mineral buildup. You can use a regular clarifying shampoo otherwise, just to remove all the buildup, especially some of these sprays that you put in your hair that have SPF in them. They're usually silicone based or some sort of polymer based, and not all of them are water soluble. So you want to make sure that you're removing that buildup, especially if you're using it like every day. So you may want to up the clarifying a little more often if you're using these products more often than usual. And then deep condition. Most people need to deep condition after clarifying. Not everybody does, but deep conditioning is still important in the summer. You've got some moisture, so it's not as important as in the winter, but if you're clarifying more often, then you definitely want to be deep conditioning. Tip number 3 is to increase the hold so that your style will last longer in the heat and humidity. That's one of the big problems that people have in the summer, is because it's so hot and humid, your style just doesn't really last. So increasing the hold is one really good way to deal with that. Now I have a video all about increasing hold, but I'll give you a couple of tips right here. You can use less moisture in your routine, so cut back on the moisturizing ingredients you're using, or just use lighter ones like a leave-in conditioner instead of a curl cream. And that lower moisture will allow your styling products to provide more hold. You can use a hard hold gel. Gels are the best holding ingredients. A spray, a finishing hairspray. Curlsmith just came out with a really good one, I heard. I haven't tried it yet, but that's a really good option to finish your style and add some longevity to it. Tip number 4 is to use more protein. So you may want to up the amount of protein that you have in your routine, and this you can easily do by just using leave-in products that have a little more protein in them, like a leave-in conditioner or a cream or gels. And you want to do this because protein provides so many benefits to your hair, but mainly it helps your hair hold onto moisture, and it helps protect your hair against damage from the sun and the water because it makes your hair stronger. So it's more resistant to damage, more resistant to breakage, and just healthier overall. And one extra benefit of protein that everybody loves is that it does reduce frizz. And this last tip is just for people who are in humid conditions. So if you're in high humidity, you will want to reduce the moisture in your routine. I briefly talked about this in one of the other tips, but the idea is less moisture leads to more hold, and because there's already so much moisture in the air around you, you just don't need it in your hair. So you can reduce the moisture, once again, by using lighter products overall, less moisturizing products, things that are more lightweight, deep condition less often, and possibly diffuse your hair if you're air drying, because if you're air drying, your hair stays wet for longer, and that's not really a good thing. So you can diffuse for just a few minutes to help speed along the drying process. So what's the next step? Well, you're gonna wanna build your go-to summer routine for hard hold and humidity resistance. If you really wanna have better definition that lasts in high humidity, then watch this video next. It's called Humidity Proof Summer Curly Hair Routine. And in this video, I share exactly what you wanna look for to build a humidity proof summer routine as I walk you through my go-to summer styling routine. Just click the video you see on your screen and I'll see you there.